Hello, everyone. Wednesday, 11 a.m., somewhere in this world. We got good questions this week. Let's bring them on.
Hi everyone. So for today's question, I would love to first to approach the topic of functional training versus being capable, and then to kind of like go in depth there. Twisted push-ups and put twisted pull-ups. What are they? Why are they? And how are they?
Good. Um, so the first question is because what is functional training, right? So basically, when writing the book, I was thinking about mostly nowadays, functional training is combined to certain exercises, right? So mimicking daily life's activities, like picking something off the floor, sitting down on the chair, grabbing something from the shelves, uh, reaching for the cookie jars, etc. Um, and while those movements are fine and need to be trained, the body doesn't work as in training them in doing squats or whatever the equivalent of that movement is. The true thing we're looking for is being capable of doing those things in our daily lives without experiencing pain or being capable of actually. We have a very funny sentence on our website, which I think it's very much true. um, what's what's a six pack worth if you can't carry your TV to the sixth floor, right? And that's very much true. Nowadays, it's a lot about the six pack, but it's not about so much if you can actually carry stuff into your apartment on the sixth floor. That's the difference between functional training and capability training. The words don't matter. It's more of an intro into I think I'm somewhere heading in the right direction where what muscles need to do, which position needs to be learned, and what rotation is all about. On my way there, right? So let's bring some practical stuff in there, like the twisting push-ups and twisting pull-ups. Nobody's ever heard about this. Let's start at the beginning. So I think there's a major difference in training your shoulders and training your hips from a position and skill and rotation perspective. Let's start with the shoulder first because we want to talk about the push up and the pull up today. Um, there's three elements: the happy threesome for your shoulder, which is position, tension, and rotation. Those three things combined equals the thing we're actually looking for, which is torque. But torque means nothing because you cannot train for torque. You have to be competent at those two skills in the beginning, add rotation, and at the end you're gonna get torque. Um, this is not a birthday present, as in, hey, my son wants to have a new train, so I'm gonna buy a train and then he has it. No, no. You have to earn your torque and you have to get better at position, tension, and controlling or creating rotation. So what does the fuck does that mean? For the shoulder, let's start with rotation because that's the most been talked about. Internal rotation and external rotation. In the shoulder, no matter how much tension you create, you cannot create rotation. Rotation in your shoulder will always happen, and the only thing you can do in your shoulder is control it through tension. What does that mean? No matter your position, squeeze the shoulder blades together, push your shoulders down, do something with your humerus, with your big arm bone. No matter what you do, as soon as you pick something up, grab something, rotation can still happen. You cannot avoid rotation while moving in your shoulder ever. So the only thing you can train for is to learn the positions that you actually need to learn to get capable of whatever, carrying your TV on the sixth floor, plus what tension is needed to control the rotation in your shoulder. Super simple example. I can squeeze my shoulder blades together. I can squeeze my lats as hard as I can, and yet I can still rotate. That means fully rotate from external to internal rotation my big arm bone. So avoiding or seeing rotation through in shoulder movement as a mistake is a mistake from my point of view. The only thing you can do is learn the positions, learn the tension needed, so you can start controlling that rotation so it's not going sideways. What is sideways? Shoulders rotating forward while pressing heavy, shoulders rolling forward while you're doing pull-ups, elbows flaring out when you're doing stuff. That's the stuff that we want to avoid, and that's why we need the happy threesome to begin with. This is purely about training, just to be clear about everything. Happy threesome is purely about training. Okay, this is your shoulder. Now the twisted push-up and the twisted pull-ups come into play, because those two movements are exactly what you need to learn and to practice to get better at everything that I've just said in this call. What's a twisted push-up? So your shoulder needs rotation, full external to full internal, or vice versa. Twisted push-up means you're going to start on your fists, neutral wrist, and your hands are pointing towards you. That means if I go sideways here, that's full external rotation of your shoulder, right? You're going to start in the push-up position. You're going to start here, and once you push yourself up, you're going to twist and turn your arm, and you're going to end up in what? Full internal rotation, and by the way, full protractions or shoulder blades going out in your shoulder. That's what your shoulder wants. Yes, it's uncommon. I know. Yes, I know it's not the way everybody does push-up, but I don't care. This is the way you should be doing it. So you're going to train full range of motion, internal rotation, full external rotation, full internal rotation, plus tension, plus know something about the position of your shoulder blade. And this is the perfect package, the happy threesome, to get to your desired end goal, which is torque for everybody.
Just a short question here, because you now mentioned the shoulder blades at the end of the position, that the shoulder blades are fully out. Just to make sure that for anyone listening and for myself, in the beginning, though, the shoulder blades, when we are down on the floor, we make sure to pull them down and together, right?
Yes, so you have to be in, because if you're in that push-up position, there's no way you cannot put them in. But again, the only thing I have to focus on is pushing them down, keeping them in, and once I press up, it goes the other way. Shoulder still, keeping your shoulder still down, but your shoulder blades are going to go to the outside.
Okay.
We have everything at once. We have the position skills. That means what your big arm bone is doing, what your shoulder blades are doing. We have the tension part, what your chest, triceps, and lats are doing in a push-up. And we have the full internal to external to internal rotation, in there. So this is the way you can get what you want at the end, right? And this is a hard concept, because we're used to, okay, I want this. I want my knees or my shoulders to look like that guy in that video. So I'm going to just play pretend of what the guy's positioning wise doing with my shoulder. Fun fact is, this is going to go sideways once I load it. So for normal people, for us, this is the best way how to start practicing stuff for your shoulder. Why do we start with bodyweight exercises? Well, because that's it's not the easiest way, but it's the best way to learn that skill, to combine the happy threesome, to get to the end result you want, which is torque.
And is there for someone who might be listening, who's like, okay, that sounds amazing, but how do I know that I reached torque?
You don't have to. That's the beauty of it, right? Um, how do you, okay, super simple example. How do you know you get better at playing piano? How do you know you get better at playing tennis? How do you know you get better at writing? How do you know you get better at singing, right? What's the measurement behind it? Okay, what's the measurement behind being better at playing piano?
You
Sounds
can,
better, right?
yeah, and you can play some more complex pieces, maybe. Like you move
Yes.
from like a basic something to like a Chopin.
Exactly. So taking that analogy and putting it into training. Training is so thankful, because you can literally measure if you can do 10 twisting push-ups, or if you can go from playing uh what's it called in English? All the what's it called? Ducklings, all the mighty ducklings, whatever the child song is, to playing Mozart, right? That's the equivalent of doing push-ups, that's a childish song on the piano, to going to a bench press, for example.
Mhm.
That's Mozart, right? So you can see your development in there, and you can measure it, whether it's reps, whether it's weight, whether it's the level, the skill level of an exercise. But it's a perfect way of doing it. Um, that means if you don't see progress, guess what? You're not doing what you're supposed to do. And this is kind of on you, but not totally. Maybe you have not heard what to actually do it, and you're just being told, like, do 10 push-ups every single day without actually knowing what to take care of while doing those push-ups, right? Um, so yes, you have to do more, but it's our job as coaches to educate you more on what you should be actually doing and how to guarantee progress. So that's the shoulder, right? And just as a quick comparison to your hip, right? Um, and I'm going to take the knees out example, same as with flaring out the shoulder blades or the elbows or rolling the shoulders. The hip is the complete opposite, and I'm gonna talk about this for the next 20 years, and because it's so important. This is the opposite for your hip, right? Your shoulder needs a lot of rotation. Your shoulder can only be taught to control rotation while practicing tension first. It's the other way around for your hip. For your hip, you have to create rotation by creating tension. Again, super simple example, full external rotation of your hip. How do we teach that? Pressing the knees out? No. We stand tall, squeeze your booty as hard as you can. That's max external rotation of your hip, femur, big thigh bone, right? That's your max external rotation. Everything else, displacing your foot so your knee can point out more, is not more external rotation. It's displacement of your foot or your knee. Pressing your knees out is not more external rotation. It's pressing your knees out and pretending you have more room in your hips. Your max external rotation in training under load is stand tall, squeeze your booty, and that's how much your femur should rotate to the outside, equals external rotation. What's the other side of the coin? What's full internal rotation in training? You can bend over, grab something like a six-pack of water bottles, grab it, and just hold it like a centimeter, half an inch off the floor, almost straight legs. You will realize that your femur, your big thigh bone, are going to fully internally rotate. That's as much internal rotation as you need in training. Squeeze your booty standing tall, grab something, bend over. That's full internal rotation of your hips. This is being created by creating tension first, not as in the shoulder. So we have to load our hips first. We have to load our hips first. We have to learn how to load our neutral hips first. Here, I said it 3 times in a row. Once we understand that different concept of training the hips differently than shoulders, the whole world of training your body is gonna open up, and maybe it's gonna solve some problems for you too. Let's go back to knees out, because I needed an intro because knees out is right, but it's also wrong. The position is going to be exactly the same whether I'm going to teach it my way or you're just going to hear press your knees out. Your knee is going to end up in the same position. My way is the tension round. What does that mean? Let's take a box squat, for example, right? If you keep your knees over your heels, if you shoot your hips back, what will naturally happen is once your hamstrings engage, because of the attachment and where the muscle is attached on the big thigh bone and on your shin bones or on your knee, once it gets on tension, it will move the knee out. This has nothing to do with you pressing your knee out. This is something completely different. Your hamstrings are designed, once they get on tension, they're designed to bring your knee in the perfect position. There's no need for you to do anything funky or cranky with your feet. There's no need for you to create external rotation by pressing your knees out. There's no need for you to create external rotation at your hips. Squeeze the booty while standing tall. So that means a squeezed booty while moving your hips back is also the prerequisite for your hamstrings to fully engage, which will lead to your knees going in the perfect position without you thinking about
Mhm.
it. That was an abrupt end.
Yes, I'm still kind I feel like I'm still
So,
in a box squat.
okay, no, let me explain. Okay, yes. So how did this happen? Um, Very smart people um, in training looked at the most beautiful movers on earth, athletes from different kind of sports, whether it's weightlifting or powerlifting. Whenever you see a squat and you see a really good squat, like, oh, this is how a squat should look like, right? You can feel it. The opposite, when somebody squats with like knees caving in, he crumbles, like you can see that this is not the way squat head works, right? Cool. So somebody watched those videos of high performance athletes, professional athletes, and we're like, okay, so if this guy squats 250, 300, 400, whatever kilos, this is the position that he's doing this in. That means everybody should squat like this. And that is true, but we miss something very important because once you start teaching normal people with obviously less tension and less body awareness than professional athletes, this is not feasible, right? Because um, they cannot just mimic a position. I mean, they can, but only up to a certain weight. Once you go over that barrier, you see knees caving in, etc. So we have to start with the tension route first, which is a lot more work than just saying press your knees out and keep your chest up all the time. But this is the only way to fix the knee out problem. There's no additional exercise you have to do, there's no assistance work, there's no other words you have to use. We just have to make sure people know and learn the concept of the neutral hip, keeping your booty squeezed, and then everything else will fall in place. This is the point I'm making. Knees out is totally right, but our approach in most gyms is not the most effective one. Let's put it very nicely. So I'm going the tension route first, and this is going to solve the knee out problem long term.
So would you say that kind of like where the knees end up is like more the byproduct of the tension in this case, as opposed to how it often is kind of like reversed, that you hear people talk about the knees out and the tension is like pretty much like out of the whole picture?
Yes, I have a weird or funny example. So imagine this: you're planning a trip to New York. Um, you have like 2 weeks in New York, and you have your daily plan dialed in. And what are you gonna see, and which sites are you gonna visit, and which restaurants you're gonna visit, and everything, right? And you know exactly what to do. This is the pressing the knees out example. The only thing you're missing once you arrive in New York and in your hotel, you're not going to leave your room. Yeah, I know this sounds super stupid, but this is exactly what's happening right there. You have everything perfectly planned, but you're not taking the last step, which in the squat example is you have to learn tension. And in my visiting New York example is you have to leave your hotel room to do the stuff that you want to do. Super stupid example in terms of visiting New York, but I think it makes a lot more sense to view the squat that way. You have to think it fully through. Just because you can press your knees out and pretend to create external rotation at the hips with 60 kilos and crumble with 70, 80, or 90, you're not leaving your hotel room,
Mhm.
right? It's cool to see New York from your hotel room, but let's open up the door and let's make sure you're going to visit all the sites and all the crazy adventures you can do in New York. That's the only thing I want to add on to the whole discussion is okay. Let's make the trip worth it. Literally.
Something that just came to my mind is that whenever you talk about a squat, there is oftentimes the first thing is like the depth of a squat. If we bring that now into this discussion, would you agree with me that As long as someone has not found enough tension, we don't need to talk about the depth of a squat.
Um, so here's the thing. I'm gonna say something that I'm gonna regret instantly, but I'm gonna say it anyways. The squat is it's the one of the coolest exercises out there, but I think it's one of the most overrated
Oh,
ones.
100%, yeah. Yeah.
Let me explain why. Because it's not a
We can't hear you for some reason.
Just lost my. Give me a second. Does it work now?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, perfect. Give me a second. Some technical difficulties. Is it fine again?
Yes, it's fine.
Um, where was I? Okay, so I think the squat it's a cool exercise and you should be doing it, but you should also be aware of that it is not existing in nature. What does that mean? Um, there's no such thing as moving a lot of weight on your shoulders or in between your hands up and down. Why? Because just imagine you have a heavy weight, I don't know, somewhere on a rock, and you want to bring it to the ground. You would never ever grab it, squat it down, and then let it drop. You would try to just roll it and just let it drop on the floor immediately. I know this is a stupid example, but the lowering down part is not of a squat is not existing in
Mhm.
nature. The only thing that's existing in nature is the other part, which is jumping, which is always unloaded, right? Whatever. We're going to do squats, relax. We're doing squats. I'm doing squats. We're going to do squats anyways. Um, the point of the depth, that's why I had that intro, is it doesn't matter in the beginning as long as you're obeying to the hip rules, keeping your knees over your ankles, shooting your hips back first, just to make sure the tension is there first. And wherever your existing level of tension is, that's how far you're gonna squat down. All right, that's what we're doing in a box squat. Relax. You can do Sampic squats all the way down, all the way up. It's totally fine, right? So we're gonna do Sampic squats for the full range of motion. You don't have to worry about it, but we're gonna use the box squat to learn how to move weight, but we use the depth in the beginning and try to move wherever you want to move towards. Let's call it a 90-degree angle on the box squat.
Okay. Um, and now for kind of like for anyone who wants to train all that we talked about now about the shoulder, about the hip, give us the rundown of what to do like in a legit session. Where can people find out what to do?
Yes, so that's what the templates are for, right? And that's why I've created 6-week transformer templates on the traveling circle. So there's 6 weeks of the 5 templates we're using to start exactly training and learning and practicing what I've just talked about. It's not it's not theoretically complex. It's just good exercises, good explanations, videos. You can follow through it, and everything that I've just talked about today is going to be in there if you do it. So that's the cool thing. I tend to talk a lot about it, theoretical concepts, and that's what the templates are about. Is okay, start doing them, take a little bit of that theory, apply it in practice, and see if it works for you in practice. Um, that's the only measurement I'm giving on me first and on the book is okay, stuff that I'm writing about, is it working in practice or not? If not, it doesn't make any sense to me. So we've created that 6-week course on the traveling circus. If you want to have access to it, just text us. It's on the traveling circus. It will be on there for free to access it. There's the templates on there. If you have a coaching business or a gym, there's communications to it. That means how you're gonna explain that to your members, how you're gonna set up a course, how to structure it. Everything is on there. You can just use it. So if you're interested in, let's call it, transforming your coaching services, whether that as a private coach or as a private trainer, as a PT, personal trainer, or as a gym owner, This is the proven way how we've done it in the last, whatever, 5, 6, 7 years. You can start slowly learning that stuff, implementing that stuff, so you can make a lasting change in your gym as well. So hop on the traveling circus. The link's going to be somewhere down here. Text us. We can send you the link and try it out and see if it works for you too.
Good.
Good. That's it for today. Awesome questions. Bring them on. Have a nice Wednesday. Have fun. It's summer. And let's get Grexy. Bye, guys.